Tonight, we rewind and set the Wayback Machine to 1982 with Disney's Tron. It's an absolute belter of a movie. If you haven't seen this movie before, where were you? Living under a rock? Let's do it.
Chance you like Tron. There's also a good chance, too, that I'm talking to myself right now. Because you've got to love a technical difficulty. You've got to enjoy a big error now and again. And I like a big error. Speaking of big errors, my crew tonight, joining me on the games grid, are the oldest gamer, Z Thruppeny Bit 3PO, and Emperor J Goodwin. Greetings, programs!
No.
Oh, God. No limit, down. Is that what you were doing?
It
Or
was.
were you pretending to be a bit?
Yes.
Positive of a negative, eh? You're a bit. Yes. Oh, that was one of the bits of the movie that were just designed for kids. You know, it was a good joke at the time, but hey-ho, here we go. We all love Tron, 1982, July 9th, if you want to be pedantic. Running time of 96 minutes. Made 50 million at the box office, and it had a budget of 17 million, which was hugely generous for the era. Also, very much so for that time. Apparently, the inspiration came in 1976 for independent animator Steve Lisberger. He came across a demo reel compiled by a company called Magi, a computer film that was a firm even that was at the forefront of experimenting with graphics software to create optical effects. Lisberger was intrigued by the idea, but it wasn't until he saw the early Atari video game Pong that he was convinced a movie set inside a computer-generated world was actually viable. That's not too bad considering what the state of play with video games these days. Because, you know, video games are a staple of everyday 21st century life. More so now than ever before. Just a quickie before we get into the slides. Jay, did you get to see this the first time round on the silver screen?
Yes, I did.
You lucky boy.
Oh, yes. It was,
So did I.
Most magnificent.
Yes, I saw this in Edmonton in 1980. When did it? Yeah, 82.
Yeah, I saw it in one of the last Art Deco movie palaces that we had around us, and I made the people that I went to the movie with stay through the entire credits so I could see what computers they used.
I don't think it actually stated, did it, in the credits, or did it?
Yeah, it does. It says computers provided by Cray, and it was a Cray XMP.
Don't start with the Cray shit again. We did that last week. Moving swiftly on, Z Thruppeny Bit 3PO. Did you get to see this back in the pictures back in the day, sir?
I most certainly did at the at my local Odeon. It was absolutely amazing.
At Wandsworth Scrubs.
Oh, yes. I was a big computer games fan in the 1980s. I loved vector graphics as well, like Asteroids, Battlezone, Tempest, that sort of thing.
Did you ever Vectrex?
My cousin did. I didn't, but I did play that. I loved it. I thought it was amazing. And also later on down the line, you had the Elite on the BBC Micro.
Oh, yeah, on the from Acorn, which was a great platform. Can you remember that sound effect, Z?
I most certainly can, yes. My interest in computer games at all-time high at this point. You know, I was absolutely buzzing and went on to get myself a ZX Spectrum after this. And one of the first games I programmed in was Light Cycles.
Really? So you're a Specky fan, were you?
I was a Specky fan, yeah.
I was on the old Chicken Lips back in the day. I had my Commodore 64 at all times. Gamer, did you get to see this flick in the cinema back in the day?
I did. Our local cinema after Star Wars expanded from 3 screens to 6. So going to see this movie was rather easy in high school.
Nice.
Yeah.
Quick hello to everybody in the chat. Hello to Melvin Deeply. Also the Rodent. I don't know. Rodent says, what happened to the chat replay on They Live? Says unavailable. I do not know. Manuel Greel says, greetings program. Destron Solar in there modding for us tonight. Sword in the Storm, hello there, matey. Franco Walker, Gap After Dark at See what I did there. If you know your Stargate, if you know your P3X459s and all that malarkey, you'll know exactly what I mean. And hello to you, wherever you're watching, whenever you're watching. If you're watching on the re-rub, please do give the video a like, won't you? And do comment down below because it helps the channel grow. And no matter how much stuff I keep chucking on the grow pile, it's not really happening. So I want to, try and put the channel out there just a tiny bit more because YouTube says that I've got to be a tart and keep banging on about getting you to like and subscribe. Anybody else not seeing Jay on the screen right now?
I do not see him. I see Z, you, and myself.
Yeah,
you
where
hear
are you,
me?
Jay? Yeah.
Oh, well, lovely. I've just decided to disappear then.
Hang on a minute. Let me try a different view to see if you reappear. I think I know what it might be, actually. I think I might know what it might be.
Oh,
So
you didn't
let me
do a
just go on
layout.
to a different view. There we go. We're all present and correct. And I don't mind being at the back of the boat for a change. So let's crack on. Opening credits for Tron. Now, when Tron's being compiled at the beginning, I really did like that. That was such a great scene, especially with Wendy Carlos's score underneath it. That do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Oh,
She
Wendy
did it a lot
Carlos.
better than me.
She
Yeah.
did, yeah. And what else did she do? Shining as well, and Clockwork Orange.
Yeah. Is that when she still had a clockwork herself?
Yeah.
Ah.
When she was a he.
Yeah, Walter Carlos at one time or another. Did the Switched On Back, if you remember.
Yeah, that's right.
If Wayfarer's about, he'll love that. That's a proper nerdy fact for him. Manuel Grill says in the chat his first computer was a C64. Still have it. Yep, me too. I'm still rocking a Commodore 64 after all these years. In fact, people bring them to me for me to fix them now. Who'd have funked that at the time?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm very good with PLAs and doing ROM chips and stuff like that. Ooh,
You got a brand new keyboard for your C64, didn't you?
I
Or the case
did.
for
A
it?
new case as well, yeah. Brand spanking new case made in Australia. I got that. I can't remember whether it was for my birthday or for Father's Day. But my kids, Destron, was it for my birthday or was it for Father's Day? I can't remember. He'll tell me.
Was it working out?
I haven't built it yet because what it is,
no.
I'm redoing my workshop. Once I get it finished by the end of summer, I'm thinking by the fall I'm going to start doing some other videos. Like repairing retro stuff.
Oh, nice.
I know they're 10 a penny online, but I want to do it for me to keep me occupied and my mind focused during the winter months.
Sure.
An interesting view when the film opens because you shown like a vista and you're like zooming into it and it's like a cross. Birthday, he says. Yeah, it was my birthday gamer when I got that. You've got like an all electronic vista, which is like a cityscape. And then we focus in on this. It's Flynn's arcade. And it's that is very reminiscent of an arcade back in the day. Sadly, arcades weren't big in rural towns in the UK. The only place you kind of found these was at the seaside, wasn't it, Z?
Yeah, pretty much. Although where I grew up, we had Peterborough Leisure Amusements, which had all of the latest games in. That's where I got my fix from. Plenty of Mr. Do, Pac-Man,
Bit
Asteroids.
of Dig Dog.
Yeah, and my absolute favourite, which is the sit-down cockpit version of Star Wars.
Oh, shut up!
Yeah.
And the sit-down version of Firefox on Laserdisc, which had a very high breakdown rate. It spent more time having a sign on it saying broke than it did actually saying you can play it. Jay, did your location of growing up, where your formative years were, did you have an arcade back in your town back in the day?
You made an arcade by riding your bike around to different stores that had like 2 or 3 video games in them. And then I think probably about like 84, we had someone start up an arcade. Didn't last long, but yeah, we definitely played. I mean, we had a sit down version of Star Wars, which was magnificent. Sinistar, which is my favorite game, and was absolutely menacing and would taunt you the whole time with voice. And yeah, they were They were really it's the one thing that was amusing to me about arcades, like looking back now, is the spontaneous social rules that set up with, like, if you put a coin up, somehow people kept track that was your coin and it was your time up, and just all the trust, and everybody just knew how you were supposed to behave, just like we absorbed it, via osmosis.
Arcade etiquette, which was refreshing back in the day. Gamer, did you have an arcade where you grew up?
We did, but I was like Jay. Mine was pretty far away. I mean, you could ride your bike there, but we had a bowling alley and a couple locations. You kind of pick your location to pick your favorite game. So I had a paper route as a kid, and so the bowling alley that I was at had Battle Zone, Asteroids,
Classics.
let's see, I'm trying to think. It had some sort of pinball machine, and then what was the sit down game? I was trying to think of it. Firefox. We didn't have the sit down version though. We had the stand up version of Firefox.
Oh, the stand up one was hard work.
It was, and I don't remember playing that one very much. I think, as you guys were describing, it was broken quite a bit, and I preferred Battlezone and Asteroids anyway. So.
Yeah,
I
all
think
great
Firefox
memories.
cost more too. I think it was like 50 cents to play instead of a quarter.
Yeah, you'd run through your money pretty quick playing Firefox.
Yeah,
Didn't you just?
Yeah, Gauntlet too.
It was
Gauntlet
programmed to be
2.
exceedingly hard because Atari wanted a swift return on that because Clint Eastwood recorded like 3 pieces of dialogue, and he charged them $500,000.
Yeah, when
Well,
you're a
that's good
kid
work
and you have
if
a
you get it.
quarter and you're playing Asteroids, you could play Asteroids for 20 minutes, half an hour, versus Firefox, you might be done in 5 minutes, if that.
Yeah.
I'm with Z though. Gauntlet 2. Yellow droid shot the food. Go.
In the chat, Rodent says he fixes pool and snooker cues myself. I got an antique Riley cue from 1910 with an ivory plate on it, worth a fortune. Hang on to that, mate. And Sword in the Storm says, we were lucky to get an arcade machine in the local chippy. Also in the chat, I remember the Turtles in Time arcade machine that actually had a seating system on it, and the screen was about 10 foot wide. Yeah, but when people had games and they really cared about like getting the arcade feel, some people who bought these machines really did go the extra mile. Paul Dickinson says we had a queue at the Virgin Megastore in Oxford Street every Saturday morning. Space Invaders and Asteroids were still his favourite. Hey, I still play stuff like that all the time on the Atari 2600. Sorry, and Some says at Rodent Man, that was a great game, but for 4 players, I like the X-Men. I liked, when it comes to multiplayer games, when they started doing like Outrun as a multiplayer, that was absolutely brilliant.
When they would network the machines so you could race against each other.
Oh, yeah. Them were the days. Them were the days, my friend. Oh, I just... some great memories when we grew up. But that is a really sweet-looking arcade. If only our town had had one like that. But look at them machines in there.
Brings back memories.
Oh, yeah. Look
Apart
at
from the fact that
pinballs.
every single one of the machines in our place had a ashtray screwdrivered into it.
Oh, yes.
With at least someone else's fag on the go, even if it wasn't yours.
Yeah.
Because they were just standing there watching with their tempe on the
Did
side.
Did you have like a cocktail cabinet one with the ashtrays on both sides?
Yes.
Yeah.
What was on that? Warlords by Atari.
Well, we had a really bad port of Galaxian on the one we had in our local.
Ms. Pac-Man was the sit down cabinet style with the drink holders and everything on it.
Yeah. If you look at that arcade, it's not as big, really, as it's made to look. A lot of camera trickery used there because they could only get a certain amount of games, not enough to make it look as busy as what it actually was. But that's the magic of cinema. But I like this bit where it goes, what is it? Light cycle. And Sark's playing that program.
Which branch of the service? I've managed to kidnap some more programs.
Which branch of the service?
Strategic Air Command.
Nice.
This is great, this video game that he's playing, because the Tron video game also came out in 1982 and had the same joystick that the cabinet he's playing has.
It did.
Yep.
Anybody remember the company that did those machines?
Midway? Was it Midway?
It was Bally Midway.
Midway, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it had an awesome. The coin mech on the movie one is really lit well from behind. That
Definitely.
would have burnt out on any other coin mech on any other machine. That would have burnt out. Some special effects there. So this is the light cycles, and just look at these. Oh, in all 8-bit glory.
Magnificent.
Aren't they beautiful?
For 8-bit, look at that.
Wow. Yeah. There was
Actually,
a lot of
no,
compute cycles that went into those.
Hang on a minute. If it was done on a Cray, Crays were 64-bit architecture.
They were, but to render the colors out and to display it correctly would have been ludicrously expensive computationally. So they knocked down the colors.
So would it have been that would have been legit at 8-bit then?
8. Well, yeah, I'm going to guess 8 and maybe 12.
Because there's not much of a color palette there if you think about it.
Well, the computer that rendered all the special effects only had 2 meg of memory and 330 meg of storage.
Yeah, it was still at a time though, wasn't it, to frame?
Yep.
Nice. Strategic Air Command. So here's David Warner as Sark. He's the control program for the ENCOM system. And it's funny that, because all the programs look like they're users. But, the MCP has evolved that much. He has a program, and he made it in the image of his user.
He made Sark his subordinate. And that's exactly how he sees Dillinger.
Eventually, yeah, because have you noticed the relationship changes dynamic? Because when the MCP starts blackmailing Dillinger, it's like, oh crap, Pandora's box. And this is the current thought about AI. What happens when it goes, you're not as superior as me?
Yeah, but this was also the fear at the time of computers. I mean, this the for everybody that kind of poo-poos Tron, understand that for most people they didn't work with computers. They didn't understand them. We were just getting them into the home, the fear was, they're going to take your jobs, they're going to take over. And the idea of little people running around doing your work inside the computer was just as reasonable as any other explanation that your average office worker could come up with for how it worked.
Yeah, it's very meta, isn't it? And the film needs that, doesn't it? So it can translate the computer world into the real world.
It was a well-founded fear. Disney animators refused to work on this film because they thought computer graphics were going to take away their jobs.
We did eventually, thanks to Steve Jobs.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
If it wasn't for Steve Jobs, there would have been no Pixar. Who knew? So anyway, this guy, I don't know what he is. I think he's like a porn website program.
Could be.
Yeah, and he's looking like he needs a pair of new underpants.
Looks like he might be the kind that Z visits, given that look on his face.
He's
right
certainly
there.
in the position.
Yes.
Have you interfaced with him?
Bend over.
Have you put your serial port in his back door?
End of knob.
Nice.
There's a 68.71% chance nobody's going to leave us a super chat unless you keep doing shit like that, Z. So make sure you do it. So anyway, this program's not that good. Sark's wiped him out. But even that explosion, that although it looks rudimentary now, when I saw this on the big screen, I was like, fuck.
Yeah, it was a wow moment. It really was.
It made Star Wars look like a Jeremy Beadle home movie.
This was really. I mean, I was interested in computers because I was kind of a sci-fi kid, but I was also a special effects kid. This is the movie that made me go hardcore into computers because I looked and I was like, that's the future, and it will be cheaper than building stop motion armatures and all of that stuff, right? And having to process film. And sadly, I was right.
Yeah, but I can watch this film till I'm blue in the face. Definitely. And I always notice something. It took me until like 3 or 4 years ago to realize that Mickey Mouse is in this film. We'll talk about that later.
On the subject of the game, the movie itself was a financial flop. But the video game Tron itself pulled in more money.
And you know something? A lot of people are after these cabinets now. People buy them in absolutely horrendous, like Steptoe and Son condition. Like the MFI reject level quality now. And people pay like $2-3 grand for them. And they're quite prepared to do that and then rebuild them. There's some fantastic videos on YouTube of people doing restorations on Tron cabinets.
And those are non-cheap to restore because like
Chipboard.
the joystick and you know, a lot of the graphics around the panels and all that stuff. Ooh, those were spendy. Those were expensive machines to make to begin with.
Yeah.
Well, Z
Well,
makes
it's-
a great point about the viability of the film. The sales of the cabinets in the arcades, it made $30 million. So that's what made the possibility of subsequent films even possible. Is it made a profit as a result of the game sales, not because of people like you and I that went to go see it in the theater.
So, as they were both released in 1982, is this essentially the first video game tie-in?
Yeah.
No,
I think
Star Wars, I think.
No. Because
No,
Star
it's
Wars, the Star Wars came out in '77. There was no video game that was tied
Right.
in with it.
I'm sure one. It might have been a year after, to be fair, but I know there was. It wasn't far behind because you had the stand-up machine for Star Wars, and then they came out with the sit-down variants.
Yeah, I think
Those
the
are
cabinet
just-
came out in '83.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it was there or thereabouts. I'm sure there wasn't a deal in it in terms of hitting these shores anyway.
Yeah, no, Tron was the first that was directly tied in.
In
and,
fact-
and were released so close together.
The sit-down Star Wars cabinets, when they started going pear-shaped, they got rebranded as the Firefox sit-down machines with the laser disc that always kept breaking. So this is on Sark's command carrier, and he stands on his little plinth thing, and he gets all these bars appear around him, and this is where he interfaces with the MCP. We seem to have a slide missing, but never mind. So that's where he says,
You're getting brutal, Stark. Brutal and needlessly sadistic.
"Thank you, Master Control." It's a bit of a sadistic bugger. Does anybody recognise Londo Malari?
yes.
Oh,
Yes.
God, fear. Although I do have an impression of Londo Malari. Anybody else a B5 fan in the chat?
I'm a B5 fan, but what amazes me more is the gas masks and the hockey padding. It's just such a rudimentary costume, but it works so well for the guards.
Just to quickly interrupt, well done to Paul Dickinson, who's become a member of the channel. He's at the level, get to the chopper.
Absolutely.
Next one up's get to the reactor. And I'm thinking about get to the conga. Or see you at the party, Richter. That could be like the top tier, couldn't it? Oh, God. There's always one person in the chat, isn't there? Anyway, hello to Miss Martin Muses. Been enjoying watching some of her streams lately. Absolutely fantastic. What else? Just quickly. A super chat from Miss Martin. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, you got a super sticker. $99, a red rose. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Don't forget, if you make any sort of contribution to the show, you get a producer credit on next week's show. There's no trailer for next week's show, but there's a reason for that. I'm on the cusp of possibly having some work done on the street, and I might not have any connection next Tuesday.
Ooh.
Thank
Oh,
you,
that would be
Virgin
bad.
Media. Pardon?
That would not be good.
No. So I don't want to say I'm going to do one next Tuesday and then not have the ability to do so because they're changing the cabinet outside. So anyway, these are guards of the Encon system. And this is Chrome, isn't it? And he says, I don't think I can play these games. And one of those guys says, "Sure you can, pal. You look like a natural athlete to me." Yeah, of course he does. Meanwhile, in the real world, Kevin Flynn looks like he's about to star in a pornographic movie of some variety.
Mhm.
He does look a bit porny here, doesn't he? Look at the size of that monitor, which were VDTs back in the day. I told my mother once I wanted a VDT, and she thought it was something else.
Yeah. Well, I'll get you some penicillin then. We'll see if we can clear that up.
You didn't get it off me. I get checked regularly.
Do you know, I'm just dying to tell somebody in the chat to go and fuck themselves, so I'll refrain from doing that for now. So anyway, Flynn's hacking into the Encom system. He's requesting a password to get into some memory. And this is Clue, the original Clue, not the new Clue, which was not a patch on this one. Clue is the codified likeness utility, which is Flynn's ace in his hole when it comes to his programs. So he's sent Clue into the Encom system to find some validating information to prove that he made some video games. We'll find out more about that a little bit later on. But he's got a bit. So anyway, he's going around all these memory locations. And I like how these are called space paranoids in the real world. But in here, they're called recognizers.
Recognizer, yeah.
Yeah, a recognizer.
Isn't that what they were originally called in the Atari games too? They weren't called.
These weren't in an Atari game,
weren't they? Were they in the
No.
Commodore 64? I remember seeing them in a game.
Oh, I don't know.
I'll have to
Although
look it up.
anything back in the 8-bit days, could have been anything. Destro
Oh, yeah.
says in the chat that he loves these tanks. They're very well rendered.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the shading on that. The shading on that would have took about 2 days for a guess.
Yeah. I mean, these are. I mean, it is ludicrous the amount of time and money they spent just doing the rendering, and for all of our memories of how this is all computer generated, or whatever. No, most of it is just shot like in black and white, and then lit up with UV tape and.
Yeah. Franco says hello to everybody. By the way,
they do appear in the original arcade game as a substitute for tanks at higher levels. I knew I saw it somewhere. I don't know why I thought it was a C-64, but
yeah, it's.
But they were called recognizers.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Hello to Franco. Paul Dickinson says the Tron coaster at Disney World's pretty good. When I went to Disney, the one in France where I got racially abused. Hey, you fucking English, you're all the same. Do you remember that, Destron? I told her what she could go and do with herself and all, fat French bitch. Anyway, clues quickly rounded up by a recognizer. And I love this bit. It's like, found a pirate program on the system.
What did he pull?
Your mum.
Oh my goodness.
No, I must have gotten in here by accident. Yeah. Well, yeah, it was your dad's credit card too. We're all, this is a great scene. This is on the mesa of the MCP, which we get to see later on in the film. And I'm sure if you've seen this movie, which I'm hoping you have, then I'm sure that you know where this is all going to end up. But the MCP can take over any other program, gain its functions, and grow bigger. A bit like gain of function tests in Wuhan. You make something bigger and worse, and it gets out. Next thing you know, you're on a bit of a lockdown. Who'd have thunk, eh? But this was a great effect back in the day, and it was as a kid. This was quite harrowing for me. I don't know about you guys. Maybe you was made of sterner stuff.
No, I mean this is the despite the film tricks that they're using to do some very simple shots and then make them look CG or whatever. I mean, it's very believable. And then you came to identify with the programs, in the movie. This was really well done. And Disney was taking a lot of risks at this time.
Oh yes,
movie wise, not paying off well, but they were at least taking risks.
And do you know, there's not many shots. There's actually quite a few shots where the Koreans drew over them in the neon paints.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't fill all the gaps in, but they nearly got them all spot on here.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that fact. I like seeing that too. Yeah, Destron says in the chat that the scream is blood-curdling. True, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. And I just love it. Get me... I didn't press the button, hang on.
Get me Dillinger.
And this is the NCOM chopper. Have you had a ride on a chopper, Z? The NCOM chopper?
I most certainly have. It wasn't lit up like that one, though.
What, like a Christmas tree?
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. I think if you attached electronics to it, the big lusty Belgium I was with would probably object.
Oh, was his name Jacques?
I have no idea.
Did he buy you a bag of chips?
I don't ask them their names.
Apparently the Belgians are mad for chips.
Are they really?
I
bet the maniacs put mayonnaise on them.
Yeah, all kinds of funky crap. Anyway, this is Ed Dillinger, the CEO of NCOM, played by David Warner, who he had a good run with Star Trek, didn't he? He was in 3 things at once with Star Trek. He was in that one we don't talk about as St. John Talbot, who chewed through cigarettes like they were going out of fashion. He ended up scoring with that Romulan bird who didn't look Romulan at the end of that film too.
I'll always remember him as Evil from Time Bandits.
Yes, true. He was also a Cardassian, and he was in Star Trek 6 as flipping heck, I
Chancellor
forgot his name.
Gorkon.
Chancellor Gorkon, yeah. Swappers, hello in the chat. He says that looks like Automan's chopper. I haven't seen Automan's chopper. If you mean the helicopter, yes, very similar, but I've not actually seen Automan's chopper. Oh, that was a great show. Inspired by Tron, not like Glenn A. Larson to rip anything off.
No, how unusual.
No. And I love these Encom desk keyboards, which was carried on into Tron Legacy because Flynn had one in his arcade lab. But his password, Master 0000.
I laughed at that when I rewatched the film. I'm like, seriously? That was the password back in 1982? Master?
I think because of the limited amount of computers that are available, they just imagined how people would log on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And wrote that.
Hello, Mr.
No.
Dillinger. Thanks for coming back early from the massage parlor.
No problem, Master C. When you've been to one wash and wank, you've seen the ball. What's up?
It's your friend, the boy detective. He's been looking at your porn collection again.
Sorry, I make no apologies.
I have
for
a
doing
question about that scene. Is it your impression that his character is actually talking to Master Control, or is it just inferred that there's text going back and forth? Because they seem to interact verbally, not.
Well, it's alluded to in the film that the MCP can actually communicate, in type and in speech. It's got Dillinger's desk and some of the Encom terminals have all got speech processor units on them, so you can actually hear what the MCP is saying. Now, this is Alan Bradley. He's one of Encom's best programmers. And he's wrote a program called Tron, which will become, pretty important because the MCP and Dillinger have shut down all Group 7 access. Because, does anybody know the percentage chance he's right? No?
No.
68.71% chance you're right.
Cute.
End of line.
This is not going to get boring for me. I'm fucking loving this. I'm sorry, I make no apologies. And it's got to be gravy minimum. So anyway, everybody's getting their account suspended. Report to Dillinger immediately from the MCP. And there's more bugs than a bait store. So Alan Bradley goes to see Dillinger and he just says, everybody's going to be taken off just for a little bit. But he brags off that he does all his accounting on an abacus. Bully for you, Alan. Good for you.
So he's locked out everybody with level 7 access or below.
Yep, only Group 7, which is the weird thing.
Oh, how odd.
Yeah. So anyway, down in the laser lab, Dr. Walter Gibbs and his assistant, Laurie, are dismantling things with a laser teleportation program where they can disassemble fruit and put it back together again. Yeah, that's sexy, that is. I'd love one that'd turn an orange into a watermelon.
I mean, in this movie, there's pretty much mastered teleportation. It's weird that it doesn't get addressed later on.
Yeah, but it's quantum teleportation because that's brought up in Tron Legacy. And our stream killed it. Nice. So anyway,
There's only one Tron movie. That's my headcanon.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind Legacy. It's okay. But when we went to see this, me and Destron went to see it on night of release, and we were sort of like gnashing his teeth a little bit because there were some bits which were just complete rewrites. It's like Lisberg went, right, I've got the technology to do this film how I wanted to do it the first time round. So he basically did a George Lucas Star Wars on it. He just retconned his own creation to make it what he wanted. Yep. But I'm afraid that ship had that ship had passed. The solar sail had sailed on.
Indeed.
Oh, Cindy Morgan. Rest in peace, my darling.
Did you know that the Encom laser bay is actually real?
It is.
It's the laser facility at the Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory.
And there's another big thing
Wow.
in this film, no pun intended. That was at the Lawrence Livermore Laboratories. That big door later on.
That
Which
is
was-
a massive
Oh,
door.
the blast door.
It's a 44-ton door.
I honestly thought that was a
That's a
prop.
huge door.
No.
That is
They
an
used it-
actual door.
They used it in war games as well, if
They
you
used it in
remember.
war games.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, 44-ton door, and it has to be that thick to shield from any radioactive sources. In fact, when they were filming those scenes, there was a bit of tape round and a glowing green pool of goo, and Cindy Morgan's like, "What's that?" He said, "Oh well, we spelt some radiation," and they were like, "Hey." Oh dear, them were the days when everybody was scared of radiation. So anyway, they suspect Flynn of doing some hacking. They go over to Flynn's, and being the big kid he is, you know, he's doing some video gaming, and he's doing it hardcore because he knows all the routines for all these games.
Might be a
know?
reason why he knows those.
I wonder.
Hmm.
Hello to female server Silver Usurper. I can't even say it. But looking back now, we see how wrong they presented the internal workings of a computer. Lawnmower level, in my opinion. Hey, it's not bad, really, for the era.
Not for 1982.
Yeah,
In
there are.
1982, you actually thought that was it. That's how it worked.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Well, and there are touchstones to like real parts of the computer. I mean, they get RAM and things like that. But Tron and Trop are actual commands that are used in programming. It's trace on, trace off when you're running a program.
But the writer didn't actually know that at the time. He later came out and said, it's just like there's a line at the beginning of the film where he refers to something as SCSI data. But the SCSI interface wasn't actually coined until February 82 when this movie was in post-production.
Would have been sassy at the time.
Yeah, it would have been sassy at the time. So it's really weird how, even today, certain bits of this movie that may have not fit at the time fit even more now.
Small computer systems serial interface.
Yeah, and some of that is because the fans would have retroactively named certain things based on watching Tron. Because I mean, if you were into computers, you definitely would have saw this movie.
Hey, doesn't that bloke look like John Sheridan?
Well, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, so we've got two references to Babylon 5 in this film already. So Laurie and Alan Bradley.
Isn't it 3?
Excuse me?
Isn't it already 3?
Well, we've got Peter Jurassic,
References to Babylon?
and there's
Right.
Bruce Boxleitner, so that's 2 so far.
Yeah, but we've already seen David Warner.
Oh yes, he was on the. Oh yes, he was in it. You're right. I'd take that back.
Yeah,
that was the one where he took that druggie on as his on a quest, wasn't it? Not the Michael York one, because he did one. He thought he was King Arthur, but David Warner was like some kind of, I don't know, like a I don't know, like a Christian crusader, but not like that kind, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, he only appeared in one
Yeah,
episode,
that's right.
but yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I stand corrected, gamer. You.
That's
It's
okay.
all right. If you didn't tell me these things, I'd carry on making a tit of myself. Paul Dickinson says in the chat, radiation never hurt anyone. Killed a lot, though. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to put that up on the screen. Don't forget, if you want to get yourself, if you want to say something particularly rum on the channel, super chats of a 10 or above, I will put them on the screen, even if it's completely rum. So there we go. That's an incentive for you to not do it. So that's class. I like that, Paul. Radiation never hurt anyone. So anyway, Walter's having a bit of a philosophical discussion about souls and computer programs. And this is where we sort of like get that first metaphor where Dylan just says, I've got better things to do than have religious discussions with you, Walter. And then he makes a comment about, sometimes I wish I was back in that garage where I started all this in. And Dylan just says, that can be arranged, Walter. There was no need for that. You can remove like me and men and Alan from the system, but you can't remove the spirit. Blah, 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 blah. And all that radiation. Yeah, so there's that 44-ton door. It's basically a 44-ton fire escape because, look, it's got one of those push handles to get out. Can you imagine pushing on that? Crikey. Hey.
I'm going to guess it's handicapped accessible. You just press on that and hope that the motors work.
Yeah, with your nuclear-powered wheelchair, you can...
Yep.
So anyway, you've got like a little calculator device which manages to hack the door. Fair enough, it's completely fictitious. Completely fictitious, but it's still a hell of a lot of fun, though. So anyway, here's the interesting bit. This is where the dynamic shifts. There's a paradigm shift between the power structure between Dillinger and the MCP, where the MCP is no longer the servant of the master. The roles morph and swap.
Mm-hmm.
I plan to hit the Pentagon next week.
I planned to put pictures of your wife online last week, Ed. She's got a cucumber in her shitbox.
Wasn't me, that was the MCP. Well, that is a great... I would love a monitor table like that. That would be so cool.
This, like many things, is like, this looks really cool, and it would absolutely suck to use because your
Yeah,
neck
true.
would get so tired looking down.
Yeah, well, at least you haven't got to worry about Gateron keys clacking away, would you?
Yeah, the problem is you also have no touch.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You wouldn't want me to dig up Flynn's file and read it up on a VDT at the Times, would you?
You wouldn't fucking dare.
Try me. I've got pictures of your cock from the last Christmas office party. Remember photocopying your arse? Your knob was down the left-hand side of your leg.
Sorry, I'm a bit fruity tonight. I don't care. Encom senior exec indicted. Oh, computer blackmailing him. So anyway, on the inside of Encom, Alan's going to set his terminal and try and get access to his Tron program. Laurie's going to take him up into the laser lab, where Flynn can use her terminal and forge a Group 6 access, as you do.
Oh, yeah.
So Flynn sits down. I like that jacket. That is pretty cool. Always wanted a jacket like that. So he sits down, and then the MCP starts talking to him. You shouldn't have come back, Flynn.
I've got your Subway Club card here.
It's all right. There we go. You shouldn't have come back, Flynn. Hey, it's the big master control program everybody's been talking about. Sit right there. Hang on, I'll do it with the voice.
Sit right there. I'll make you a cup of tea.
Make yourself comfortable. Oh, so anyway, there's a bit of baiting going on between the pair of them, but the MCP is quite a bit of a sharp shit, really. He says, I'm going to have to put you on the games grid, and he says, games? I'll give you games. And then it all goes a bit Pete Tong.
I love this
especially
effect. The way he breaks down and gets absorbed by the laser is amazing.
Yeah, but if you notice, it doesn't get the scream off, but it still echoes, what's left of it echoes through the laser lab.
Yep.
And it just carries on going. For a moment there, I thought that was a BBCB keyboard, but it's not, thank God. So he's been molecularly deconstructed.
Easy for you to say.
And it's, yeah, and it's quantum teleportation. And he's been put on the games grid. Now, the interesting bit is when he goes into that tunnel, when he's fully deconstructed, and you see all those shapes, and there's like flickers of light, and that's actual mistakes in the film stock. And it happens on more than one occasion. Every time you see like a one of those kind of moments where they've stuck a sound effect in, that's the actual film stock, the Kodak stock, having different properties about it. And when they've changed a reel, that error's gone across. But Lisberger said, no, leave it in. And it wasn't a cheapskate thing. He turned it into an advantage. He made them into power surges. Apparently there's 4 in total all the way through the film.
They did the Apple thing. They turned a bug into a feature.
Of course.
Yeah, you never know. So this
Long
is
guy, the
Flynn's
beholder.
essence heading towards the game grid. And he's heading towards an I.O. tower. And then he materializes. And he's like, wow. Maintain entry pod program. I said move. And he gives him a bit of a lightsaberage. Because that's not, a rip-off of a lightsaber at all, is it?
Well, it's more like a cattle prod.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Shouldn't damage the little bastard unless its skin's thinner than ours. Sorry, different film. If you know, you know.
Shoot him.
This is Sark's command carrier. That took, and if I remember right, it took 22 and a half days to render all that out.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is different vehicles were done by different effects shops, and they were having to write the software to do this. And so Things that were more vector based went to one group. The Fong shaded tanks were done by someone else. They're really kind of looking for specialists to do their thing, and you would think that the imagery would look dissonant, but they managed to make it look holistic.
Yeah, they did. They did it very, very well, considering that all this stuff was made just for this purpose.
Uh-huh.
And I wonder how much of this, the framework and technology developed for Tron, went into like the last Starfighter, for example.
Oh, absolutely. Because a lot of this stuff would show up at SIGGRAPH, which is the big convention of people who are doing imagery and in computer graphics and things like that, and they would do papers and presentations, and they would explain the algorithms, and people would take them and run with them and build off of them.
That's so good. I mean, even now. So anyway, Sark has another meeting with the MCP, and he gets blackmailed. He says, I brought somebody down here. And what kind of program is he? It's not like any kind of program, Sark. He's a user. And even Stark's like, brown circuit board time. And he gets threatened by the MCP with existence and a calculator.
Yep.
But look at that. I know it's a costume, but that still looks the shit.
Yeah, and the acting and again the way that they did the neon, where they would dim him down because MCP was removing power from him, and his cries of pain and all that. I mean, it works. If you looked at it and I explained it to you, you'd be like, "That sounds ridiculous," and then you see the actual execution. It's like, no, in the right hands, it definitely is a good movie.
Mm. So anyway, Sark's giving all the new recruits a bit of a spiel, and he says, if you renounce your belief in the users, you'll get better training. But if you don't, you'll be given the usual standard, substandard training. So they'll basically, if you don't switch sides, if you don't join their team, you will be purposely put in a position where you'll be de-resed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's not at all coercion and blackmail in any shape, way, or form.
This movie is responsible for some of the most aggressive Frisbee games of my childhood.
That's absolutely correct, yes.
I remember throwing my Tron disc so hard at my brother Dean, I gave him a black eye. Wow. I had a blue one, though. And it must have been, a good 12 foot away from me, and I just got a lucky shot off. I mean, he's considerably older than me. So, a bit of payback, I feel. It was well deserved. And I
may or may not have been involved in some broken windows with Tron discs.
There is a rumor, and I don't know how true it is, when Flynn's walking along and you see Tron playing a game of Deadly Discs, it's rumored that the guy behind him's Tom Hanks. I don't know how true that is.
I mean, Hanks would have been started in films in this era, so.
And this is well before Bachelor Party. The film he wasn't in at all. I love Bachelor Party.
Yes.
It's a great movie. So here's Dan Shaw and his character, Ram. And interesting story. About a year after this movie, Dan Shaw was out somewhere, and this guy's staring at him, giving him the real evils. And Dan Shaw goes up to him and said, What? You got a problem? He went, Sure, Dan Shaw. And he went, Yeah? I've been drawing your ass for a year. One of the animators had been responsible for doing his suit. I've been drawing your ass for a year. I just thought, wow, that is such a great line. I like how Flynn walks into the door panel here. You can't see it, but there's 4 screens there. And all the while, right, Tron is in the other cell, which is behind us, if the way we look at it now. And he never once turns around and says anything to Flynn and Ram. And yet, if he had done, he'd have gone, Alan, we'd have got all that out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Alan.
Yeah. Alan, you wanker. So anyway, Flynn's first game is put against one of his own, and he's up against Chrome. which is Peter Jurassic, a.k.a. Londo Malari from Babylon 5. And I like the bit where he goes, "You think you're going to wipe me right out, don't you?" And he's like got a New Jersey accent. What the hell was that all about? Is Peter Jurassic from New Jersey? Do we know? I thought he was from New York, but upstate New York.
I thought it was New
Yeah.
Yorker.
I suppose potato, it's that neck of the woods, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's playing the ring game. Have you played any ring games, Z?
I play ring games on a regular basis.
Really?
Yeah, and
Do you
just
drop
like in
your
this,
ball?
when I hit them very hard, they disappear.
Do you drop your ball often?
I drop the soap in the shower. An unusual amount.
It's not the Birdman of Alcatraz. Anyway, moving swiftly on. It goes a bit pear-shaped for Chrome. He's not as fit as he'd like to be. In fact, he's more fat than fit, and I can sort of relate to that. Now I've lost a shitload of weight. I'm not so fat. Anyway, he says, "Kill him." No! And then the Sark kills Chrome for no reason, just because he can. And he's about to do the same to Flynn. And then we hear a voice in the background, at the back of Sark's mind, that goes,
I want him in the games till he dies playing.
So he gets a swift reminder not to get rid of Flynn just yet. So anyway, he gets taken towards the light cycle game, and this is where we get Flynn's first glimpse of Tron, which he says, "Alan, where did you hear that name?" "Well, that's your name, isn't it?" "That's the name of my user." And they have a bit of a chin wag, and they both realise they've got the same purpose to thwart the MCP. So they get put on the games grid. They start playing Light Cycle, and there's a thing on the Blu-ray Special Edition where they put the soundtrack back in for this part, and it's actually quite good. I actually like this scene with the music put back in, but they felt it took too much away from that scene. Has anybody else seen it with the music, the original score for this scene put back in?
I haven't. My disc was...
I think the version I just watched this weekend had it, yeah.
You were, anyway, all talking at once. Gamer, just run that by me one more time, pal.
No, the version I watched this weekend had
Did
the
it?
music.
What, for the Light Cycle
Yeah.
game? And
Yeah.
you were saying, Z?
Mine didn't.
Nope, mine doesn't either.
Yeah, it must be a special edition. So anyway, one of the blue team gets derezzed, leaving a hole in the wall. So anyway, Flynn's realised that, hang on a minute, I can use this as a cheat code, a real cheat code. And he just wants to get out of there. So he's like, gold 3 to gold 2 and 1. I'm getting out here and you're both welcome. And they get rid of those other players. And then there's a recognizer. I love it. It just starts coming down. And it tries to dive on the escaping light cycles. Do you know, this still teach me to try and be clever, because I wanted to make things all fit nicely. And I've ended up squeezing Jay out just a tiny bit, though. But I've got to make sure.
Usually Z's the one that squeezes me out.
Yeah, but
if you want to go ahead and get in line, that's
you must obviously have a tighter circle than Z does then.
Well, he hits it hard enough. It disappears.
Well, stop, you make you blush.
Oh dear, you pair when you get started. Oh dear, yeah. Ronan says reflective material. Yeah, they did, didn't they? You used that for the lightsabers. Franco says he got confused and watched Brainstorm. Still a great film. We will be covering it before. I'm thinking mid-August.
That is a great movie.
It is a great movie. Douglas Trumbull, what a genius.
Oh my gosh, yeah. His slit scan stuff on that is amazing.
Oh yeah. And it raises so many ethical and moral questions about uses of things like that.
Yeah, it's a complex moral movie, and I think
which we can talk about another time. We're doing Tron this week, Jay. Calm down.
Easy. I was trying to escape through the crack there.
No. Don't. You'll set Z off again. You know what he's like.
Come on.
So anyway, these recognizers start going after them bikes, but I don't think they're going to get through that hole. And then Flynn says, I really wish I hadn't have written all those tank programs. So they start pursued by all the tanks on the game grid. And then they start getting shot at. And this is a good bit. and they knocked this tank off. And you wouldn't think there'd be any inertia inside a computer system where you could turn at 90-degree angles.
Well, it's a Cray. They could afford physics with that one. You know.
Yeah,
it's probably
true.
a physics sim run loose.
Oh, I love these Bart light cycles. My favourite's the one in the middle. I like to go for an orange one, not just anybody can have a yellow one or a red one, but no, I like to be in between and be
There's
awkward.
a certain amount of swag to deliver on the orange.
And even these bits here, even though these were computer generated in part, 60% of that scene was computer generated. The rest was actually drawn in Korea, which is still a great effect.
Absolutely. I love the fact that Sark is monitoring all this from his workstation, all lit up, and he's got Pac-Man in the corner going, wow, 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 wow.
Yeah.
There's
Get
things
them.
going on. Get them.
I want those conscripts. It gets a little bit freaky here. They start having a bit of a chat, and it's like they found an open bar. Hi to Anti-Derivative Jill in the chat. Thank you for joining us, Doc. Sorry, I called you Doc. Sorry, it's a local way of saying love. Or no, yeah, Englishisms. Sorry. It's a cordial greeting. So anyway, there's the IO tower, which is currently occupied by the bad guys, and then they find a pool of water. But it's not water; it's electric.
It's energy.
Pure
It's not the
energy.
Oasis song either. So they all start having a bit of a swag, and they start getting a bit high on life at this point, don't they? Really, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lovely scene. So these tank guys are still looking for him. Oh, crikey! Melvin. He's given us a super chat. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood isn't shit. I'm only pulling your leg. It's utter shite. I did say I'd read anything out for a tenner, but, Melv's a good lad. He's a friend of the show. And, he's the biggest contributor to the show so far. £15 so far this month.
I think through all of his super chats across all the channels, he's single-handedly funded the sequel to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes, it's coming.
I think it's good. It's good. I like that. I know you don't like it. I only like the bit where the weirdos break into Ray Dalton's house. You know the bit where Brad Pitt has the funny cigarette and it's been dipped in daydream juice. Special daydream juice that Timothy Leary would probably sell him. Anyway, so the tanks find the bikes again, take a shot. Hey, Gordy, give me a shot. And this is such a great, even though Tomy ripped this off completely, didn't they, for the Tomytronic games? Did you get those in the States, guys?
We did, but I'm trying to remember the game that you're trying to think of.
Was it the 3D tanks, Z?
Yeah, they did a series of them, and there was like the Road Racer, and they did the tank battle one as well. The ones that you hold up to your eyes, wasn't it?
They were like a 3D Viewmaster type games. Yeah,
I remember them.
Yeah, the red one was the tank one, and that was the coolest out of the three. So anyway, you take a shot, and they get that's Flynn, isn't it? The yellow one.
Yeah.
Tron's the gold one. Ram's the red one. Yeah. So anyway, they get knocked out of the bikes, but unfortunately, Ram's very worse for wear at this point. The tanks keep firing. Tron thinks that they've both been de-rezzed, but we get to find out in no time at all that they haven't been de-rezzed. I'll tell you what, I'm going to stick you all guys down at the bottom because I'm sick of fannying about with this trying to fix it. So if any more super chats come in, I'll stick them on the screen. Otherwise, we'll just keep carrying on with the slides. So Tron's like, no! And he manages to get away from the tanks. So Flynn he's a bit more robust, isn't he? Because he's a user.
Yeah.
And he manages to drag Ram away. This was great. Even back then, I remember the books you could buy from school. Was it the Scholastic ones, where you used to get like a book club thing every 3 months? This was in a basic programming book, and I remember buying that, and I'd kept it for years and years, and then my mum decided to chuck it. Well, I found a box of your old books, so I decided to chuck them, and I'm like, you silly old woman.
There's a
When
fractal
When you're old and feeble, I'm going to have you put in a home.
And you did.
No. She'll outlive me. She'll be a fucking head in a jar like that of Futurama when I'm dead. So, Sark and his command crew are out to find those programs at any cost whatsoever. Because if not, he's going to be in a Casio GT85. But Flynn's got the power, after a bit of a nid, to reconstruct a recognizer.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomena says Curry House wallpaper pattern. Yeah, I agree with that. So, he manages to pull this recognizer back together again, but it's a bit naff. And he manages to get around town in it. And Flynn don't look too bright, though. He looks a bit... Oh, hello, George. He looks a bit that way, doesn't he?
Yeah, there's a bit of the what the
He does
hell
a
is
line
going on?
here where he says, "This is just like one of those old arcade grips, and this is nothing like any arcade grip
No, they're not.
whatsoever."
Not in any arcade I'd ever been in.
None I
Maybe
went in.
like the old penny arcades where you hold it and it gives you an electric shock and you see how long you
Yeah.
can hold it or something. It's
But look at Ram. Ram's agog, literally agog, and he's like, "How can you do that?" He says, "I'm a user." And it's funny, this. He tries to stop Ram from de-resin, but he can't do it. But he does it later on with somebody else. I wonder why. Anyway, this is a program called Yori, who looks remarkably like Laurie.
yeah.
Laurie? I wonder if that guy's wearing a cup. Sure looks like it, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, he's going to go play hockey, so I hope he is.
Yeah, table hockey in the arcade.
Yeah.
Have you noticed how all the girl programs wear skull caps in this scene? But later on, the Solar Sailor, she's got a hockey hat on. Were they all were they all Coopers? The helmets. Sure they were. You know, the Cooper hockey gear.
No.
No,
Is it?
I'm unfamiliar with that.
No, I might be thinking of something else then. It'll come to me.
No, I don't play hockey and I don't care for hockey.
Okay,
so,
fair enough. Anyway, Laurie's a bit, Yori even. She's a bit, but Tron, gives her a bit of a feel, and she comes to her senses. Obviously, he's sparking interest in regions uncharted.
Mm-hmm.
There is a cut scene where she takes him back to her place,
Oh, well.
and she puts on a special sexy outfit. But Tron's like, no, you'll get the power will get detected and we'll all get in trouble. And she's like, you're boring. Seriously. You could have written a whole new program. And there we go. This is the bit from earlier that was with Clue. And Flynn cacks his pants a little bit. And then this is where we get the whole discussion about, he's a bit. I'm glad this particular thing didn't stay in the film long.
Oh,
Does anybody? Let me just go back a slide. What does that remind you of? The bit. What does that remind you? If you could place it
looks
anywhere
like
else.
Dungeons and Dragons dice, like a 20-sided die.
No,
Star Wars,
no,
it's the swish
no,
Oh, the
wrong.
ball. Training
No.
ball. No.
Cursor from Automan.
Mhm.
Oh,
do you have
yeah.
any idea how many decades it's been since I've seen Automan?
Oh, I remember it like it was yesterday. Don't ask me what I had for dinner yesterday.
Yeah.
You know. So anyway, Flynn takes out a tank with his crappy recognizer. It's a fixer-upper. And
Oh,
then he ends up on a porn website, Flynn does.
Yes, he does.
Oh.
On the early Pornhub here.
Yeah.
Well, that hurts. It's a new wave album cover that he just walked into somehow.
This is the website Hamster before it became something else.
Oh.
I don't know. I think they should stick an X in front of it. It might be popular. Who knows? And have you noticed those guys in the cloaks there? They're actually walking on thin air.
They're
Whether
walking on
that's an-
sunshine.
I don't know. I don't know.
But
Jill
I swear to
says in the
God,
chat.
that girl with the crazed hair looks like Yaz album cover.
Do you know she
Yaz
looks
do, I
like?
believe in your area.
If I squint hard enough, she looks like only from the neck up and the hair down. She looks like Vasquez in profile.
Oh, kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Jill says in the chat, this is how sci-fi predicts the future.
Yep.
It's true. Apparently there's no cup. Oh, well. I had to ask. So this is an interesting bit. Flynn twats one of these guards and takes over his power, and he reses him. So the bad guys are actually quite soft. So anyway, Tron and Yuri are trying to get to the I.O. tower, where we come up against the Tower Guardian, Dumont. More about that later. But Tron takes out this guard, and instead of de-resing, he just spins round like a record player. He spins him right round, baby, right round.
Baby, right round.
Yeah. Well, it's still a good effect, though. So anyway, there's the bad guys in the background and the good guys in the foreground. This is actually sandwiched between that deleted scene I told you about where Yuri likes to get cozy with Tron.
Ooh.
Yeah. Stop. Not so fast, y'all. I haven't done that for a while. It's because we've not had swappers around. Oh, well. You've got to progress and move forward, haven't you? So anyway, this is the cabling connections all the way up to the I.O. tower. And this was quite well done, really. But Tron kind of lets the side down. They look through that window and they see Dumont, who's guarding the I.O. tower. And there's a recognizer hanging about. And Tron's a bit slow. He goes, I'll have a quick look. And he gets spotted by a recognizer. So they know he's in there. And that looks like, do you remember the old Radio Shack scanners? It looks like the display on one of those, the electroluminescence.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, wow, that's such a great effect. I've still got a couple of those scanners somewhere. So anyway, Dumont's like, halt, I can't stand all this commotion, and I think I might have pissed myself. Never mind, Grandad. So he's the Tower Guardian, who looks strangely like Dr. Walter Gibbs. Isn't that funny?
How bizarre.
Pure coincidence.
Yeah. So can you imagine somebody who's done a really... What if you do the 10 print Steve is a knob end? 20 go to 10. Yeah. So if you did a program like that, would it look like you? I don't know. I don't think so. So anyway, Yuri convinces Dumont to let Tron pass so he can communicate with his user. I mean, Cindy Morgan looks quite cute in this film. But then again, what was it? Caddyshack after this or before?
Before by 2 years.
Really?
Yep.
She was even hotter in that. Did she get jugs out in that film, if I remember right?
With the one scene with the curly haired dude. I can't think of his name though.
Yeah.
The actor.
Todd, I think the character's name was. So anyway, Tron goes to communicate with the outside world with his user, Alan Bradley. And this is quite a religiously themed scene. So in the meantime, do you want to describe what's happening here, Z? Because Sark gets out his logic probe.
No.
I thought you might have got excited by that. Oh, yeah. There's always one. Trust you.
So Alan's using his ID disc to get in sorry, not Alan. Fucking
Tron.
Yeah.
Isn't he? He's using to get in communications with Alan, who's going to send him a virus on his disc.
Space aids.
Take out the MCP.
And he will fight for the users.
You'll not be able to send him any Bitcoin because it's not been invented yet. Not by a good while. And so it goes into like a nice little graphical display of what Tron's actually got to do once he takes over the I.O. tower. And quite a disturbing thing here. He says this is the key to a new order. That is... you remember how I titted up last week on Last Starfighter, Jay?
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit like that line, isn't it, really?
Yeah, a bit. Yes.
Yeah, we're not going to go into that. If you know, you know. And if not, you can catch yourself a re-rub of last week's show, The Last Starfighter. So anyway, Sark breaks in with all his cronies. So where's Flynn? He's like hung back, hasn't he? But he's not actually with those guys, which is weird. Yeah. So in the meantime, Yuri shows Tron what she's been working on. This is the Solar Sailor simulation. And that just cracking.
That's all just hand drawn.
Yeah.
I
can believe that would take
right
too much rendering time.
Yeah, they definitely, because when they actually have to do the Solar Sailor, that was one of the most. I think it was the most expensive thing they had to.
And I don't doubt it for a moment. So anyway, Laurie's basically twocking. I don't know if you guys in America know what twocking is.
Not the word, but I'm sure the behavior.
taken without owner's consent.
Oh.
It's what they call it when a car gets pinched over here, when there's a bit of GTA going off.
Oh.
It's walking. Interesting.
This interests me, right? Tron is clearly visible there, and one of the guys coming up to him is Flynn. And it's like, oh, hey, you're right. There's none of that going off. But Tron makes short work of Flynn, because Flynn's a bit soft and doughy in the middle.
That's true.
So the Solar Sailor manages to get out of that hangar. Sark starts pursuing them, but they have a bit of an energy boost. And just as they're about to catch up towards them, they do this energy thing and get a bit of a sprint. And then the MCP's really pissed off.
Now you've got 2 renegade programs flying all over the system, and I've lost a Yorkshire pudding recipe.
Oh my God. How will he ever recover?
I know.
That part, the Yorkshire pudding.
Yeah. Not a big thing in America, which is a shame, really, because Yorkshire puddings are awesome. So anyway, Solar Sailor's making its way again across the Sea of Simulation. And have we gone past that bit with Mickey Mouse yet? Anyway, Flynn's like barely hanging on, shouts to Tron, and Tron pulls him up, and then he changes colour again. It's funny how he doesn't absorb him completely, is it? And takes him over and whatnot. So he goes to show him Yuri off to Flynn, and he's like, Laura? And then he starts getting a bit feeling threatened, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So anyway, these are grid bugs. Oh, we've got to watch out for these grid bugs. Like they're going to be a plot point in the film, but this is the one and only bit of the entire film where they're featured. And then they go away. Obviously, we've not got the slide of where Mickey Mouse is on the floor of the Sea of Simulation, but if you go around towards where that scene is where they get away from Sark, you'll see a silhouette in green of Mickey Mouse on the floor of the Sea of Simulation. In the meantime, Sark tortures people. And this is really good, you know. And he's not even trying to get any information out of him. He's just doing it for fun. Because Sark's a bit of a sick shit, really. And yeah,
Don't kink shame Sark. That's
why?
That's not right. No, come on. I mean,
Why? I don't know. David Warner seemed to be typecast as playing bastards.
Yeah,
quite
he
a
was
long
always.
time.
I think the first thing I saw him play was Evil, and I was like, "Yep, that matches." And he's pretty consistent.
You know, he was a
Was
nice
Jack
guy
the
in real
Ripper?
life.
Was he
was-
Jack the Ripper in Time After Time?
Time
or-
after time, yeah.
yeah.
But he was apparently a really nice guy, and my dad said he was a nice guy.
He gets
'cause
stuck in those sort of roles like Ronnie Cox did.
Yeah. Although Ronnie Cox did play nice guys at one point. He was in The Car as a nice guy. He was in The Deliverance as a nice guy, if you can call him that. So anyway, the MCP sends a power surge to slow down the Solar Sailor, which Flynn duly deflects. Because he's shit hot, is Flynn.
Yeah.
And he redirects it, and they get off on that. And that power surge takes out 2 recognizers. Which is quite, yet again, the graphics are just sublime
Yeah.
for what they are.
And we had never seen anything like it.
No, nothing like. I mean, if you wanted anything like this, it had to be purely hand-drawn animation, didn't it?
Yeah, and you can see, some of the scenes where it is hand-drawn animation, it just does not have the same feel to it.
Oh, I just think it just adds to the entire effect.
It does.
Yeah.
I think one complements the other.
Yeah.
I mean, our reliance today, or rather over-reliance on CGI, has really muddied the waters a bit. Here, it's used to complement things.
Yeah, absolutely.
I watched a film by James Gunn, a new film by James Gunn, and I was quite disappointed with the CGI in that film.
Some of it looks decidedly shonky, especially
It
there's
the
one
dog.
scene where a ship's landing as well. And you think, what? Is this like new graduate shit that they're putting together now?
Yeah, and the dog looked really badly done in places.
I didn't mind the dog so much, mainly because he is supposed to be an alien dog. He's not supposed to be an Earth dog.
And it's not even his dog. It turns out I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it turns out to be a relative of that particular superhero character.
Who has
So
a
anyway-
drinking problem?
Yeah, she likes to party. She's got space chlamydia
Mm-hmm.
and probably space cooties as well. Anyway, Flynn's a bit like, oh, tell the guy with the jackhammer to lay off. And he's redirected some energy, and he's got a bit of an electricity hangover, like you did earlier in that, like, not really a space bar, is it? Space bar, get it? I'm here all week. So anyway, Sark's carrier takes out the solar sail, and Tron just manages to be in the right place at the wrong time, which is good for him, I suppose.
Yeah.
So Yuri and Flynn get taken hostage, prisoner by Sark, who looks really pissed off at this point. He goes, "You're nothing special." And he goes, "Neither are you, Sark." They get a bit schoolyardy, don't they, really?
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, Trotton's holding on for dear life. Sark takes the rest of these old programs because the MCP is going to basically gain a function, which is quite a popular word that we've all come to love and hate over the last 5 years. So he's going to disembark, and he's going to leave Flynn and Yuri on there to de-res, basically. But
that's always a good idea, is to leave your enemies unkilled as you leave, and that always pays off for you.
Straight out of Batman. I'll just leave you here with the buzzsaw, and it'll work out,
Yep.
And this is some good CGI, especially where this heads up into the MCP's little domain area, and it starts flying around.
Oh, the reveal of the MCP is fabulous.
Yeah, I mean, just look at that. I mean, for the era, you can't fault that for what it is. And he's got all the lines of communication in and out of the ENCOM system.
Yep.
So, I'm surprised Sark landed that thing as far away as he did. But then again, I suppose it's another plot point for him. It doesn't look so far away now, though, does it? The grand scheme of things. So anyway, the MCP is about to start taking over the functions of all the older programs. And the command carrier starts de-resing. And then just at a point where, he's like saying, "I could get us out of here. Don't worry about it, Yuri." She starts to de-res. But Flynn brings her back. Unlike poor old Ram. Obviously, Flynn didn't want to ram. But maybe he'd like to ram Yuri. But that's another film, another time.
Ram had to go buy a ranch.
You never know. So anyway, this program gets de-res by Tron, who's a spitting image of Peter, who's Dillinger's PA, male PA, shall we say?
Oh.
So Tron, he's basically every time he takes somebody out, then this isn't mentioned in the film, but every time they take somebody out, they get the other programs like experience and stuff, don't they?
Yeah.
Which is cool. And this scene I found was quite disturbing too, where the MCP is slowly draining these older programs of information.
Yeah.
And, there's the bit where they focus in on, I would say Walter Gibbs, but it's actually his program, isn't it? Dumont, which is a I/O communications program.
Yeah.
As you do. And just look at that. When I was that age, that freaked me out quite a lot, to be fair.
Yeah.
Z, trust you to put that in the chat. Give her a 16K RAM pack.
You remember those on the ZX81?
ZX81, yeah.
You'd give them a little bit of a wobble and you'd lose 4 hours of work.
Yeah. Oh, that was so frustrating.
Completely mess up my 3D monster maze.
I still know people who are still rocking programs for the ZX81. In fact, in the grand scheme of things, I've come to know quite a few big-name programmers from back in the day. Weird. We're all mates now, and at one point we sort of idolised these guys who were giving us these really fantastic games for 99p back in the day. But still, 99p was a lot of money back in the day.
Mastertronic lads?
They weren't Mastertronic lads. This was before Mastertronic.
Ooh.
But Mastertronic did the 199 series, if you remember.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, I've got loads of their games.
Used to love them. Finders Keepers was my favourite.
Yeah. Mr. Puniverse, Big Mac, BMX Riders, Formula One Simulator. That was always a good one. So this is the MCP in his new form. because he's taken on the equivalent of millions of man years. We get to see what he looks like after all those millions of man years, because he says,
There's another video game warrior out on the mesa.
and Sark goes out to have a bit of a slap round with Tron. And he says, we'd have made a great team, Tron. He says, like, you're forgetting one thing, I'm better than you. But Sark's quite hard, really. He's like next rung down on the hierarchy, on the food chain of the computer world in the Encom system. And Tron's merely a little plebe, isn't he?
Yep.
At the time. But Franco says the MCP looks awesome. He does look bloody awesome. I noticed how they parodied him in. They did a parody of him, didn't they, in South Park? When Kyle went to camp.
Yeah, he also looks especially like Anya Taylor-Joy.
Ooh, a lot of people saying things about her on the interwebs this week, saying she's freaky, and I don't know. She fits a slot.
She's an alien. What are you going to do?
She's obviously the right round peg for a square hole somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think she's got that kind of would-be Calvin Klein model face.
I mean, she has the heroin thinness, but the face. I mean, are her eyes going to meet in the back of her head by the time she?
I don't know. She looks like a grey, doesn't she, with those eyes?
Yeah.
So anyway, Tron's like kicking ass with Sark, and he has a bit of a final showdown with Sark. Breaks his identity disc, and do you know the bit where Sark drops on the floor and as all those bits fall out of his brain?
Mm-hmm. The Fruit Loops.
Do you know what they are? Bits of a clockwork clock, bizarrely enough.
And they had to put those in so the film would get a PG rating, because they obviously couldn't show his brains, which you can see there, spilling out of his head.
Yeah.
They probably could have got away with it if he was blue. Maybe he had the blue light.
Yeah, if you look closely enough, you can see what looks like brain matter of some variety.
It is a really gory end for a villain.
Yeah, but all bad guys deserve an equally bad ending.
Yeah, but this one gets his literal brains beaten out.
Well,
yeah, but he takes all. It gives Sark all of his functions. The MCP does, and the MCP still looks like that, which is weird. Hang on, let me do it with the voice.
Your user can't help you now, my little program.
So he knows the intentions. So they're all bits of a clock. Well, that does look kind of grim, doesn't it, really?
yeah.
Although Sark's now like 300 foot tall, which is bizarre. And Tron's like, oh, shit. It's definitely an oh, shit. It's a brown trousers time moment, isn't it, really?
Yes.
But look at the size of Stark. Sorry, Stark, I'm obviously missing you. If you're
It's a very
watching
big
on
Iron Man suit.
Isn't it? Isn't it just? David Warner was actually quite a tall chap.
Mm-hmm.
In real life, quite thin as well. So Flynn's got this idea about how he can get out of the Encom system and save Tron at the same time to give him an opportunity to insert his disc into the right kind of slot. Do you know anything about disc insertions into slots, see?
Oh, if you put the penny in the slot, you get a prize.
Well, you know, there's always a penny for the slot somewhere, isn't there? And he gives, it tashes on a little bit with Yori. But it's Cindy Morgan. So you're not going to say no.
Yeah, I'd linger a bit.
Yeah, so Flynn jumps into the energy stream of the MCP just long enough to make him change colour and look like he needs to change his underwear, which distracts him long enough and leaves an opportunity for Tron to insert his disc into that slot and take out the MCP, which he does, which in turn sends Flynn back to the real world, as it does.
Yeah.
You know?
Common problem with debugging.
Yeah. So this is what the MCP looks like. These are those millions of man years. I didn't expect him to look like that, to be fair.
Well, I mean, there are millions of man years. You know, you would expect him to be dust if he was that old.
Yeah.
It's
But he
an
makes the do.
animatronic of Walt Disney.
Yeah, what's left of him in the freezer.
Just his head, yeah.
But he makes the de-res noise, but he doesn't really go out. He goes out in quite of a whimper, really, to say how much power he's accrued. He doesn't necessarily go out in a blaze of glory, but neither does Sark, really. his power cycles go. He's got no master to serve anymore, so he dereses despite him taking all that battle damage. Tron manages to get all the Codger programs out of the system. You wouldn't think there'd be people that old programming, would you? There'd not be enough oldish people programming. But apparently there were back in the day. Some of the biggest programmers were quite old mathematicians who got a second run in a career at doing stuff on computers.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of programmers would have come out of the computer initiatives of World War II.
Yeah, true. I mean, like you got your DARPANET in the late 60s, and we all enjoy its luxuries now, strangely enough.
Indeed.
So if we've got what they had in the 60s, what have they got now? Makes you wonder. So the NPC, he's for shit, he's gone. The ENCOM system is freed up again. All the bad guy IO lights are all going out, and they're all being replaced by blue lights, which means the good guys can communicate with their users again. Laurie's reunited with Tron and Dumont, and she says, oh, look, all the IO towers are lighting up blue because the system's free again. And Flynn's back into the real world again. And he gets a printout. How quaint.
You could have just typed that out.
Yeah, he could have, yeah.
That
But the thing
was
is,
my question, is that this is his evidence. Like, really?
no, it's not. Because when Dillinger goes into his office, which we'll see shortly, once he's got that evidence, what's left of the master control program shoved that out everywhere. So this is on every terminal. This is Dillinger's terminal. So he gets a copy of what's gone out to every machine on the system.
Well, right, but that's not proof of anything.
He knows. And that copy that was blackmailed.
Well, he knows. You're right. David Warner's character knows. What I'm saying is that's the evidence of me stealing all these programs. It's like, really? I mean, it's on
a gamer. You can't argue with tractor feed paper.
No.
Well, that's true. I'm holding it up. It's right here.
Exactly. But you can see the tractor feeds right here on the sides. I haven't even pulled it off of the perforation or anything.
Yeah, Mel Brooks should use that name dot matrix for a character in a later film. I wonder.
And that's a character in the animated series reboot, which is also heavily based on Tron.
Oh God, yes.
So this is the final outcome. Flynn gets the company to be the CEO of the company that he basically made all its fortune for with his video games. Yeah. So Dillinger's gone, and yet he's celebrated in the sequel. I don't understand that. You'd think once a dick, always a dick, and he would be treated as such. Very bizarre.
I mean, I'm just happy to see Laurie in that cashmere sweater.
I bet you are. Yeah. I bet it's just for the sweater alone, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely.
So, final thoughts. Gamer, is this just a great movie, or is it something else?
No, it's a great movie. I mean, there's scenes, having watched people like Drinker and whatnot, where you look through it, and it's like, oh, this is awfully convenient. Like the scene where he's got the level 6 access and he's at the terminal, and oh, geez, there just happens to be a laser sitting behind him that's going to de-res him and bring him back. But when you look at it now versus then, you can come up with things like that. When I saw this back in 1982, and even rewatching it this weekend, it's a thoroughly enjoyable film. And Z and Goodwin have pointed out, and even you, the matting of the artwork with the graphics that are done, and it's actually smart by Disney. Like you were mentioning, that the carrier was done by one group of people, the tanks were done by somebody else, and the attention to detail where you're adding people back in, that even the mistakes become part of the film. Yeah. So I thoroughly enjoyed this film, and like I say, watching it on Saturday, it's a thumbs up to me. I really enjoyed it.
I liked how Steve Lisberger used all the errors to his advantage as well. That is it's not frugal. That's making use of what you got.
Absolutely, yeah.
And he did a great job. Jay, your thoughts on this? Is it just a great movie, or is it more?
I think it's definitely, if you were young and watching this now, you may spockbrow quite a few things because there's a certain archaic conception of computers and all that are in there. But I think it's the reason that we have a lot of the graphics technology that we have now is because of the work that was done on these early films, and especially Tron. Tron really redefined what you could do. And I think the other thing is it's a wonderful artifact of the time when there weren't computers, in everyone's pocket and in their home. That the computer was an alien thing, but it was coming into the home. Thanks to so many of the home computers that blew up at the time.
Well, just look at the ubiquity of computers nowadays.
Yeah, but the fear that people had, in much the same way that people are soiling themselves for I believe this is the fourth turn of the wheel for AI for me, and it tends to not play out the way that people anticipate, or robotics or anything else.
I don't know. I think now we're technologically advanced enough to have computers that could pose a possible threat, but that is, like Sarah Connor says, that is just one possible future. Z, did this get your floppy hard, or did it
most
just
certainly
get corrupt?
This is one of my favourite movies from Disney. Although it didn't do well at the box office, neither did The Black Hole, and it created a void for 10 years where they didn't do any live action. But I think the IP is sound. I actually do like Tron Legacy, and if anybody's seen the 2-season animated series Tron Uprising, I can thoroughly recommend that. It takes place between this movie and Tron Legacy.
Yeah,
I was reading about it. It's caught my interest, so yeah, I'll have to check that out.
You definitely want to check it out, especially before Ares comes out. Anybody going to see Ares when it comes out? I know me and Destron are.
Yeah, I will.
Jay, are you going to see Ares?
So. Yeah, probably wait for that to be streaming or something like that. Especially after the prior sequel.
Exactly. And on that note, I'm going to say thank you to all you guys for joining me tonight. It's been an absolute blast. I want to thank everybody in the chat. If you watch this on the re-rub, please do give the show a like. Please do leave a comment, because I love interacting with the comments. I noticed the comments have been slowly dropping off. Don't worry, I don't bite too much, and I've got rid of most of the idiots now, so we can all have a bit of a laugh and a jolly without weirdos from the other side of the planet trying to, get in there and be a total dick. And on that note, I am not going to say if we're going to be here next Tuesday. I'm playing everything by ear. Right, so we'll keep everybody in the loop. Check me out on X at Trev Retro. I'll try and keep you informed as to what's happening, and hopefully a certain media company in the UK will keep me apprised. Take care, and we'll catch up with you soon. And don't forget, like, subscribe, and give us a sub as well. We're trying to grow the channel, and I can only do that with your help. Let me know, if you let me know I'm doing stuff right, we can move and progress further. But, I ask for feedback, and people are very complimentary. I wish somebody would go, well, that's total balls. Why don't you do it like this? Or, you don't want to do it like that. You want to do it like this. Without your feedback, I can't put things right if I'm doing something wrong. And on that note, I'll catch up with you soon.